But of course you should have known. Why on earth would I have known? I've always trusted you. Always. But I was staying with Jason. He was a friend. One of our best friends. He'd just lost his wife. Why should I believe you slept with him? I wasn't sleeping with him. I was comforting him. He needed care. He needed comforting. He needed physical touch to help him heal emotionally. So take his hand. Give him a hug. But don't sleep with him. Not when you're married to me. He was devastated. He's your best friend. My heart was breaking with grief. I comforted him. There's no need to talk about it in such a tactless way. It's tasteless. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. Just get out. Get out of this fucking house. I'm not leaving. I can't explain what happened if I'm not here with you. You've already explained what happened. Now I have to decide what to do about it. So get your shit together and get out of this house, or so help me God, I'll throw you out. Patrick, you're overreacting. That's no reason to get upset. A good friend needed help. All I did was help him through a difficult time. Slept with him? Stop saying that. He was in pain. I did everything I could to make it easier for her. Stop it! Stop it! I did something good and you're trying to tarnish it. Get out. I'm going to go eat, and when I come back in an hour, you'd better leave. She didn't leave. I walked into the house from the garage and she was sitting at the kitchen table. Have you scratched yourself enough already? Are you ready to talk about this like adults? I glared at her and walked past her, heading up the stairs to our bedroom. I saw that she didn't make the slightest effort to pack her things. Oh well. If she's not going to leave, then I'll leave. I'm not going to stay in the same house with her a minute longer than necessary. I pulled 3 suitcases out of the attic and began stuffing clothes into them. I was aiming for speed rather than order, so I was almost done when Marlene came in after me. What are you doing, Patrick? Full address by name. She's been sleeping with our friend for 3 weeks and I'm the only one misbehaving. Unbelievable. What am I doing? Since you don't want to leave, I'll leave. Please don't go. We have to deal with this together. I ignored her, stuffing the last of the clothes I could fit into myself. I went to the master bathroom and aggressively gathered my toiletries. Patrick, please. You're being ridiculous. Stop acting like a cranky child. No one stole your toys. No, I growled. You gave that fucking asshole a lot more than my fucking toys. I love you, Patty. You know that. But you don't own me. Jason needed someone to contain his grief, and I was there for him. He's our friend. This means nothing to us. To our marriage. He'll never be my friend again, and it means everything to our marriage. I zipped up the last bag. I took the 2 suitcases and put them in the trunk of my car. Marlene was still in the bedroom when I picked up the last suitcase. She followed me down the stairs and kept saying something. Patty, please. Stop this nonsense. I can see that your ego is hurt, but really it's all nonsense. I was just helping out a friend. He's one of your best friends. Was. Now he's dead to me. Just as dead as Sarah is. That stopped her briefly. I'd known Jason since I was 12 when his family moved next door to ours. He was my oldest friend and one of the 3 guys I usually counted on in times of need. But this betrayal ended everything. Please take your time, Patty. Talk to me. Let me explain everything. She followed me into my office. I was gathering things on my desk, and she leaned against hers, which stood against the opposite wall. You've already figured it out. You don't need to explain anything else. He was sad. You've ruined him. I'm leaving you. Please, Patty. Don't go away. Stay here. We've always talked things out. We're going to start a family. We have so much ahead of us. There's no need for this drama. Everything will be fine. You'll see. You love me, I love you. My feelings for you haven't changed a bit. I closed my backpack and looked her straight in the eyes. But my feelings for you have changed. Goodbye, Marlene. You'll hear from my lawyer. She gasped as I walked out. The avalanche of calls and messages started as soon as I drove away from the house. I deleted all the messages from Marlene without reading or listening. I headed to the gym to release the energy bubbling in my body. It helped, but not enough. After showering and clearing my phone of Marlene's latest messages, I settled into a motel near work. We never used the Find My Phone feature, so I wasn't worried about uninvited guests. However, the phone kept buzzing, and after a couple hours, I did block Marlene's number. My relief was short-lived. The calls from my parents and sister began. These conversations were short. "What's going on, Patty? Mars called and said you dumped her." "Did she tell you why?" "No, just said you were upset. You know there are difficulties in every marriage, Patty. You have to stick together and overcome them." "She's been sleeping with Jason for 3 weeks now." "What?" "She's been sleeping with Jason for 3 weeks to help him deal with his grief." "But that doesn't make any sense. Are you sure?" "She told me." "Oh, you must not have heard. It can't be true. I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. You must settle it with her. She is your wife, dear." "Goodbye, Mother." I had about the same conversation with Carly. Apparently, Marlene's infidelity was my problem, not hers, at least according to my family. I must have missed the part of the Florence Nightingale story where she brought all her patients back to health. I bought a sandwich and salad at Whole Foods and ate it in my motel room while watching the Twins game. I can't tell you anything about the food or the game. At some point, my phone rang. It was Jason. "Fuck you, asshole. Don't ever talk to me again." I hit the end button before he said a word. Then I blocked his number as well. The next day wasn't much better. Marlene was using friends' phones, so I just started blocking numbers as I used them. I deleted voicemails as soon as I knew they were from her, or friends calling on her behalf. Her messages signaled a growing frustration. "Talk to me, Patty, please. Come home and talk to me." "We need to talk, honey. Call me. I'm worried about you." "It's okay. Talk to me. Call me. Stop this nonsense and come home." "Damn it, Patty. Call me. Blah, blah, blah." The time between texts and calls was getting longer, so either she was having a harder time finding phones or she realized I wasn't going to answer. I watched the Twins lose again and still couldn't remember what I'd eaten, or if I'd even eaten at all. I remember going outside to get some air, but it was overcast and raining lightly, so I didn't linger long. Monday came right on schedule and I went to work. I handle insurance claims. It's not very exciting, but it has to be done, and from the reviews, I'm pretty good at it. Plus, it pays well. The first thing I did was meet with my boss and told him that Mars and I had broken up and I needed some time during the day to sort things out. He said that was fine, but expected me to stay late to finish work in my turn. I was fine with that. What else was I supposed to do? Marlene called 10 minutes after I sat down at my desk. I recognized the number, but it was my responsibility to answer the phone, and I knew from the weekend that she was intemperate with the phone. "What do you need, Marlene?" "Thank God. Patty, please come home. I love you and miss you so much. We need to talk." "No, we don't. You've said everything I wanted to hear on the subject. You just don't understand. It was nothing." "I do understand, and that was all it was. You made your position very clear, and I think I was just as clear in mine. So let's just move on." "Oh, thank you, dear. I'm so pleased to hear you say that. What time will you be home tonight? I have everything I need to make lasagna. Can you buy a nice bottle of wine on the way home?" "I'm not going home, Marlene. When I say move on, I mean divorce. Infidelity to me is grounds for divorce." "No, you can't divorce me. I love you, and I know you love me. Come home so we can talk. Please." I could hear her crying. "We don't have anything to talk about, Marlene. It's very simple. We have opposing viewpoints on the main issue of our marriage. Now I have to get back to work. You know how Will feels about personal calls at work. Don't hang up on me. We need to talk. If you hang up on me, I'll call you right back. And I'll keep calling until you agree to meet with me to settle this whole thing." Damn. She had leverage, so I agreed. I didn't stop by the house, but we met at Julia's at 6:30. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you there. I just hung up. The rest of the workday sucked. I went to the bank and split our joint accounts. I called our credit cards but couldn't close them until we paid them off. But I asked for a lower credit limit. I called HR and changed the beneficiaries on the insurance policy and 401k account. We'll deal with the house later. I owned it before we got married, but Marlene contributed quite a bit to the mortgage payment. Thank goodness we had no children to worry about. I tried to get out of work as quickly as possible and get to Julia's by the appointed time. As I parked, I saw Marlene's car. Not bad either. I don't like all this crap about taking the high ground and controlling the battlefield unless you're fighting a real battle. In those cases, you say what you mean and let the cards fall where they may. I found her easily enough and sat across from her without greeting her. Marlene smiled at me, but without much confidence. Hello, dear. I'm glad you decided to come. I want to put all this behind you so you can come home. I just stared at her. Her smile faded a little, but she was determined to play. I had to hand it to her. I'm sorry you're hurt, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not in love with Jason. He needed me, and I was there for him. As a friend. As a friend who slept with him for 3 weeks. Please stop, Patty. This isn't really helping our situation. Apparently, I'm the first guy in history to be given a more pathetic man by a cuckold. Do you know how I feel? She sighed and joined the conversation. You're not pathetic. I love you. Only you. I miss you. I need you. Please come home. You slept with Jason for 3 weeks. Maybe you should ask him to come home. I don't love Jason. But you slept with him for 3 weeks. She gritted her teeth hard and her eyes bulged with tension. Please, just stop, Patty. I can see you're in a lot of pain. I thought you loved me and loved Jason enough to realize it was just kindness. There was no passion in it. There was no love. I was comforting him. That's all it was. You slept with him? Damn it, Patty. Is that all you're going to say? I'm trying to explain what happened and you're just being stubborn. It doesn't mean anything. Then why do it, Marlene? If it doesn't mean anything? That made her rise. Honey, I know you feel it was wrong. I'm not being defensive. I can see the pain in your eyes. I hurt you. And I'm sorry. I was just showing compassion. I thought you'd understand. But we can get through this. We can get back together. Just give me a chance and I'll prove it to you. I'll do anything to make it up to you. It's too late for that. Some things can't be taken back. Marlene tried to grab my hand, but I pulled them both to me. Her empty hands trembled, and her frustration showed in a sharp intake of breath. Talk to me, Patty. Please tell me what I can do. Please. We have to make this right. Sign the papers when they're handed to you. She didn't sign the papers. Instead, she filed a counter-application that disputed everything on my application and added a request for relationship counseling. I resisted, but the judge ruled in favor of counseling, and late Tuesday night I sat next to Marlene in front of Joanne DeMillo, MFT. What would you like to accomplish from our work together, Pat? I want to do anything that will expedite the divorce. So you're not interested in saving your marriage? I don't have a marriage. She violated the terms, which makes it null and void. Now all we have to do is make it official. Marlene, I take it you have a different goal? Marlene was already crying. I just want this nightmare to end. I want Patty to come home where he belongs. I want my husband back in our home, in our bed. I miss him so much. I understand the story is that you had sex with your friend for 3 weeks while he was grieving the loss of his wife. Is that true? Yes. Patty and I came to the funeral and I took time off work to help Jason around the house. Patty left because his boss didn't want to give him any more time off. Jason was so lost, so depressed. At first I just held him while he cried, but pretty soon he started snuggling up to me, kissing me, caressing me. After a couple days we slept together, but it was just sex. I don't love him and never have. It was just kindness to a good friend who was suffering so much. And you didn't discuss it with Patty? Discussed it as soon as I got back from St. Louis. I told him what had happened. And what reaction did you expect from him? I thought he would understand. Jason was a friend of Patty's. He saw how sad Jason was at the funeral. I thought Patty would understand that I was just helping Jason deal with his grief. Marlene whimpered and wiped her nose. It was just sex. It didn't mean anything. Pat seems to see it differently. Would you like to tell me how you feel, Patrick? Sex should be the only thing between us and belong only to us. That's how we'll know we're completely committed to each other. But I told you I don't love anyone else. From the day we met, my heart has always belonged only to you. Prove it. What do you mean, prove it? You know it's true. You know it. How do I know you love me? I tell you that every day. Words are simple, actions tell a story. I do 100 nice things for you every day. Like what? I cook you dinner. I kiss you all the time. I listen to what you say to me. I make love to you. You cook dinner for our friends and families. You kiss your parents and my parents. You listen to everything your sister tells you. And you slept with Jason. So tell me, what do you do just for me? Don't be ridiculous. It's different with you. Really? How would I know? Our fidelity was the one thing we only did for each other. And you threw that away for Jason. Now there's nothing that belongs just to us. That's not true. We have our love. I don't love Jason. I don't love anyone like I love you. But you can't prove that to me. And the way you cavalierly brushed aside our promises to each other shows that I can't trust you with my heart. So it's all over between us. No! Stop saying that! You don't understand! I think we've gone as far as we can go together, Joanna said, softly but firmly. I'd like to spend the rest of today's session alone with Patrick. Can you come back Thursday at 4, Marlene? That's our next session, and then we'll have an hour to work together. Marlene left, sobbing. I felt very uncomfortable alone with the therapist. Is there a path where you won't choose divorce? She asked. No. That's pretty definite. So no extenuating circumstances? If she'd been on drugs, that would have been a different matter. I'd have given her everything I had and then killed the bastard who did it. One drunken slip-up? I don't know if I could have forgiven that. But at least it would have been possible to go back. But this? She deliberately chose to sleep with Jason for 3 weeks, spending nights in his bed as if she were his wife. That's such a strong betrayal that I could never get over it. Do you think there's a difference between sex and love? Of course. So she could have just had sex with Jason. She could have only made love with you. How can you see the difference? You can't. Can you feel the difference? I can't. I know my own feelings, but I don't know yours or anyone else's except the ones you show me. I paused. Do you know how to determine how important commitment is to a person? Tell me. By what they have to sacrifice to keep it. Monogamy is very hard. Having one partner for 50 or 60 years, leaving everyone else behind is hard. There's boredom and misunderstandings and moods and conflicts and all sorts of other things that can tempt you. So when you choose to sacrifice intimacy with everyone else in the world, you are demonstrating how committed you are to your partner. In my opinion, this is how you can realize that someone loves you the way a partner should. They are willing to make huge sacrifices day in and day out to show you that they love you. By making the decision to sleep with Jason, Marlene showed me that she was not willing to make that sacrifice, and she can't sacrifice anything else to make up for it. If I stayed married to her, I'd have to defend myself every day against that kind of betrayal, and that's not the kind of marriage I'd want to be a part of. So there's no chance? No. Do you believe that people can make mistakes? That one act does not define a person? Yes, but a mistake is a one-time slip-up, not a repeated act. There's no getting that back. Then I need to prepare Marlene for a divorce. There's no point in wasting time if you're not ready to reconcile. That was a pleasant surprise. So you don't need me on Thursday then? No, I don't think so. She's devastated, and your presence here will only sharpen the knife. I understand your feelings, and I can see how strong they are. But if you change your mind, I'd be happy to work with you again, either alone or with Marlene. Thank you, but I won't change my mind. And I didn't change my mind. Marlene was inconsolable every time I saw her. I stopped going to meetings with our lawyers because she would sob as soon as she saw me. I didn't like seeing her pain, but I was hurting too. For the first few weeks I was overwhelmed with rage, but then I became numb. Once I had my own little apartment and got into a new rhythm of life, coming home became so overshadowed that I was staying late at work. My line was never so clean, and co-workers were angry that my voluminous paperwork made them look bad. I really missed Marlene. Her absence was palpable, and I had grown accustomed to the spasms engulfing my heart. I lay in bed and wondered if I had made the right choice. I missed her because I really loved her a lot. She was kind, generous, and bright and made me laugh all the time. She was playful and sincere in bed, but she accidentally decided to sleep with my friend, and I realized that I could never again fully trust her to protect my heart. She didn't love me back, at least not in the way I needed her to. Call me insecure, call me stubborn, but marriage is supposed to be a safe haven. It's supposed to dissipate stresses, not concentrate them. And knowing that she had slept with Jason while she was fully aware of it concentrated a lot of stress in me. The year after our divorce was hard on me. Marlene may have been heartbroken, but I felt crushed too. I didn't go out much, despite the efforts of friends and co-workers. We rarely saw my family either. They were so reluctant to condemn Marlene's actions that I could only perceive them in small doses. And I'm not sure they didn't see Marlene more often than I did. So I mostly sat in my apartment, watching sports and logging onto internet porn sites when the tension became too much to handle without a release. A discharge of a different kind I got when Jason tracked me down, probably to apologize. He was waiting for me when I got home from work, late again, so there was no one around. "Hey, buddy, I want to clear the air." That was all he had time to say before my fist met his ear. We were about the same height, and neither of us had much experience in fighting, but I had rage on my side. I kicked him back to the sidewalk. He left town with 2 black eyes, a broken nose and swollen jaw, and several bruises all over his torso. I may have kicked him in the balls with my knee, but it wasn't an accurate kick. After that, I made a few quiet trips to St. Louis. Jason had always been a car guy. He was unlucky enough to have his M3 completely trashed while he was sitting at a bar watching Monday Night Football. All the windows and mirrors were shattered, the paint smeared from stern to stern, the body had numerous dents, the tires were slashed, and the interior was painted bright red. His insurance covered most of the damage, and he used the proceeds to buy a used Porsche Cayman. Unfortunately for him, about 4 months later, someone broke the driver's side window and threw a Molotov cocktail through it while the car alarm was going off. The reinsurance cost him a tidy sum. No one was looking for me, but even if they had, I had credit card receipts that I used to go to bars near my apartment on those nights. Revenge was certainly modest but doable. Prison wasn't appealing. After all, Jason would have to live with being an asshole like that. After the divorce, I didn't see Marlene or let anyone tell me about her. She hurt me deeply, but I hoped she had found someone she could share her life with. We had a lot in common, but it turned out there was one huge chasm in our ideas about marriage. When I started dating again, I expected to be let down, so I didn't risk my heart. I disappointed more than one woman. Eventually, I realized that I was destined to be alone unless I had the courage to trust someone again. So I decided to act in good faith and talk about my experience with Marlene and my expectations for any relationship. I also needed to get back in shape, so I joined a mountain biking club that took me out on the trails on weekends. My first day with them turned out to be Prisha's first day. She was tall and slender, with long and thick black hair. We were far behind the rest of the group, so we spent most of the ride together, talking when we could catch our breath. She was lively and witty, and I laughed a lot. By the time we loaded the bikes at the end of the ride, I wasn't going very fast anymore, and she seemed to have slowed down as well. "I know it's last minute," I said, my heart beating too fast. "But if you're free tonight, would you like to go out to dinner?" Her smile was dazzling. "I'd love to. What do you have in mind?" "Something casual. What's your favorite food?" "Italian. Isn't it everyone's favorite?" "Everyone who matters has it. I have it too." We exchanged contact info in our phones and went home to get cleaned up. I picked her up at 6, and we had a very nice, relaxed evening. I got a nice hug and a quick kiss, but it was more than I expected, and I flew home a happy man. After that, we met regularly after that. I talked frankly about myself and Marlene, and learned that she had had 2 failed affairs due to cheating, so we were both a bit reserved. We didn't engage in physical intimacy for 4 months. "I don't just do that. If we're going to take that step, I have to be the one for you, and you have to be the one for me." Prisha smiled and kissed me back. Exclusive. I liked the sound of that. She was an active lover, and a vocal one. We moved in together after another 4 months of knowing each other. Prisha was warm, generous, and down to earth. I was direct and honest. She was organized but not flexible, and I had a knack for taking direction. We were very compatible, yet had enough differences to keep things interesting. Besides cycling and Italian food, we both loved action movies. I didn't understand her fascination with quilting, and my fascination with curling confused her. We both watched Dancing with the Stars, but I was rooting for the athletes and she liked the actresses. I worked diligently to make my thoughts clear at every turn. Prisha reciprocated me. We never fought. Disagreements were resolved long before they became a problem. We became so close because we could trust each other 100%. No secrets, no barriers, and trust flourished. Sometimes I wish I had communicated better with Marlene when I was married to her. That's one of my distant regrets. Mars may have doomed us, but I didn't feel guilty. I just assumed we had the same expectations of monogamy. So did she. We didn't notice each other, and I wonder if we could have avoided the whole unpleasant affair if we'd talked beforehand. But we didn't. We hurt each other. And we're both going to have to live with that going forward. This experience made me a much better partner for Prisha, and it eventually led us to the altar and a fully satisfying marriage. Our son Siddharth, we call him Sid, was born 3 years after the wedding, and our daughter Fiad, Fee to us, almost 2 years later. Mixing Indians and Irish is not a common occurrence, so we set our own rules. And rule number 1 is, nothing trumps loyalty.